Greetings and welcome to Sunlight Refuge, where the name of the game is motivation, inspiration, and growth. Hi, everyone. My name is Tracey, and if you are new, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. So, to the divine women who mother with their hands, their hearts, their prayers, to the ones raising children, raising siblings, raising communities, and to those who have loved and lost or long to mother in ways that the world may never fully see. You are the pulse of generations. You are the quiet miracle behind the scenes, and though the world may only celebrate you one day of the year, heaven recognizes your work every day. So let's get down to truth. Sometimes divine work feels like burnout. Sometimes love and the acts of love can wear you down. And sometimes you forget that you are not just a role, you are also a soul. So this Mother's Day, let's do more than hand you flowers. Let's hand you permission. Permission to rest, permission to be seen, permission to be supported, and most importantly, permission to say, I am sacred too. This message is not just for mothers, but for families, for communities, for the world. To stop expecting divinity from women without offering them divinely deserved care. Because when we care for mothers, we heal the future. So let's get into it. Naming the burnout. Burnouts are not just physical, it's emotional and spiritual. And oftentimes when mothers reach that burnout stage, they endure it in silence. But why? The invisible labor of motherhood often goes unrecognized, even by the mother herself. But why? What if I told you that guilt plays a part in the suffering and silence? That not validating the exhaustion of constantly being on. But again, I asked you, why? Why do you feel the guilt? Do you compare yourself to others? Do you hold yourself to a false standard? Is it difficult to express your desire to rest? But diving deeper into that, it's not you, it's conditioning. Unfortunately, women have been led to believe that they are supposed to be able to handle everything without needing help. So they normalize the burnout, rather identifying it as a signal to pour back into you. What do these look like? You got your generational conditioning. You got the fear of judgment or being seen as weak. You internalize the pressure to be the strong one. And oftentimes there's a lack of safe spaces to express how you feel about what you're going through in motherhood, right? Motherhood, being a mom, is a 365 day of the year job. So why hold yourself to a standard that is really not attainable, in the sense of you can be a good mom when you take a step back to pour back into you? So that's what we're talking about today, right? We're going to get away from the fear. We're going to get away from the I can handle it all. We're going to move more into the celebration of you, not just the one day of the year, right? So, for the people who do suffer in silence when they get to the burnout stage, I say this to you, that silence isn't from weakness. It's from being told, whether directly or indirectly, that your needs are secondary. So ask yourself, before you get to the burnout stage, what do I need? What do I need to say out loud that I've been holding inside? Right? Because why? Because peace is your birthright, and wellness is your responsibility to yourself. Yet many women internalize the belief that rest must be earned. Peace is not a luxury, it's a foundation. So when you model peace, you guide your family to also accept and value it too. So choosing yourself is not selfish, it's sacred. So, what should you do to create peace? Well, create moments of stillness, right? And I'll tell you, for me, I was one that was always going. I told you I had to learn how to pour back into me, right? And so, peace and stillness doesn't have to be hours or days. Sometimes we just need those moments. Create these moments where you just put back into yourself, whether that's taking a bath, whether it's going for a walk, whether it's reading a book, watching a video, you know what I'm saying? Whatever that looks like, create that stillness and incorporate that into your daily lives, right? Because we're all caught into the hustle and bustle of life. But it can be unforgiving if you don't take the responsibility to pour back into yourself. So, whatever that looks like for you, create that pause in the day to just relax and reset, right? So, I have an affirmation. I am allowed to rest. I am worthy to rest. My needs matter, right? Prioritize you not as a reward, but as an act of self-love. Because an empty cup, it needs to be replenished as well, right? And mothers, women in general, good women, we're nurturers, we're givers, we're pourers. We are the heartbeat of the family. But we also are people, and we also have our own desires, and we also have to have our own self-love, right? So there's no guilt in pouring back into yourself, right? Because why? You need to have a defined identity outside of motherhood, right? Because yes, you are a mother. Yes, you are a wife. Yes, you are a daughter. Yes, you are a friend. Yes, you are an employee. Yes, you are an employer. You know what I'm saying? We have many hats that we wear, but we're also us. You're also you. So you got to be able to say, who am I outside of these roles, right? Because we all have a purpose, but it doesn't just stop at motherhood or, these other roles that we play in life. It's part of it, but it's not all of it as a whole. So also make sure that you are tapping into who you are and the things that you desire and the things that you want to do, right? Because you are more than just a caregiver, just a mother, or you're more than these roles. You are a soul with a purpose. You got a purpose. You got a purpose. I got a purpose. We got a purpose. We got purposes, right? That we got to achieve so we can be fulfilled as well. Because it's about exalting God and helping humanity, right? So, what's the next step? You got to rediscover your purpose. You got to think about what was the desire that I shelved for later, right? Later never comes because we always got things to do, but you have to prioritize yourself, and it's gonna make you a better person because you are fulfilled. You're fulfilling your purpose in the world, right? While you're also nurturing and helping the people around you to fulfill their purpose, right? We all have a collective purpose. So you got to discover those things that you've been wanting to do, that you have put on the back burner. It's time to bring it to the forefront, right? And communicate that to your people. And I'm sure that they're going to be there to support you because they love you. We just have to shift some things around in order for you to be able to get back to you as the individual, right? What dream have you shelved for later? You got to reconnect with those old passions or explore new passions and desires that ignite your light, right? So ask yourself, if I can spend a full day as my ideal self, what would I do? What would you do? How would you spend that day? How would you spend that time? What will bring your heart joy? Reconnect with you. That's the Mother's Day challenge, right? Reconnect with who you are. And if you are already there, I'm so happy for you. And help other people to discover who they are, rediscover who they are, right? So that's why whenever we get together, we should share our passions and things of that nature, because it helps us to build on that network and influence someone else to go back to, the things that they put on the shelf, right? And that's what leads me to rejoin your tribe. Let people support you in your plan, right? So that's why you got to communicate what you want to do with the people in your lives. These are your people, right? Don't hide. Don't hide your passions any longer. Don't just get caught up in the hustle and the bustle, right? Because you got to find your happiness too. You got to find your purpose too. And you got to live in that because you have to fulfill that. We all came here with a divine purpose. So you got to make sure that you are taking the steps and taking on that responsibility to fulfill your purpose, right? And you got help. You got people. You got people around you. These are your tribe. These are your people, right? To encourage you and uplift you and support you and just pour into you, right? So you don't have to walk alone. And asking for help is a strength, really a superpower, not a weakness. Don't ever look at help as a weakness. And I'm not sure why we do that to ourselves, right? Like, why do we just suffer in silence, or why do we just act like everything's okay, or why, you know what I'm saying? Like, why don't we ask for help and also accept help? You know what I'm saying? but we recognize that it's part of the conditioning. If I ask for help, then I'm not a good mom, and she over here doing this, and she over there doing that, and I'm not doing this. And quit comparing yourself. You're in a league of your own, right? And that's in life in general. You're in a league of your own. So ask for help. And you got to ask yourself, if you are the type who resists help, look into that. Why? Why do I do that? But more importantly, who can I reach out and talk to and share in my desires? You know, who are these supportive people who is going to support you in your journey, right? Connect with these people and ask yourself, like, who in your life makes you feel safe and nourished and even understood to share the parts that you hold inside your safe space, right? Because we all have them. The first one is God. So, motherhood is one of the most divine roles a woman can hold, nurturing life, shaping souls, building legacies. And when I say motherhood, it's not just birth, right? It's people that you have chosen to care for, to pour into, right? So it goes beyond just physical birth and DNA. It's about the love and the care and the investment that you put into these little beings as they go through their journey in life, right? So with that divine purpose come great emotional and energetic responsibility. You're not just a mom, you're a vessel, a guide, a protector, and a healer. And always remember that even sacred work requires restoration. So whenever you start to feel the signs of, I need to take a break, don't feel guilty with that. Go with that. Your body will give you the signs. Read the signals and act accordingly, right? So I won't hold you, but as we come to a close, I just want to say, dear mama, you are not defined by your productivity. You are not loved because of how much you endure. You are sacred because you exist, because your heart continues to open even when it's tired. This is your reminder. You were never meant to carry it alone. Rest is not rebellion. Receiving is not a weakness. And healing is your inheritance. So to every family watching, honor the woman who holds you, not just with gifts, but with presence. Not just with brunches, but with support. And ask her, what does she need? And really listen to what she says. To every mother, whether a birth or spirit or love, you are the heartbeat of humanity. You deserve to be poured into, not just poured from. And may this Mother's Day be more than a moment. May it be a turning point, a sacred return to yourself. So with that said, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Until the next time.